Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nick Talks with another weekend update. Fashionably late, as per usual. Pretty much fixed on a solid trajectory. Last time I was talking about how we were better, but not yet completely locked in. Well, we've moved in the right direction. I've started scheduling my days. Consistency has been okay, including study time and work time. And, like I said I was going to do, just scheduling out the plan of what needs to get taken care of day to day. So that's been good. I've finally been more and more consistent with this 4 days a week, well, technically 5, gym schedule. That was kind of difficult at first because, when you're going all the time, which is what I was doing, you don't really have to think about it. It's like, today is a day and I am awake, so, time to go to the gym. But when it's 4 days, there's more thought that needs to happen. And so it was, for the first maybe 2 weeks, it was kind of a barrier a little bit. But we're moving right along now. And it's actually working great. It's working great. I just have to eat so much less. And, obviously so, because I'm burning so many less calories. But for some reason, that just didn't click intuitively. But now that I'm doing this, it's working really well. I feel like I'm leaner and I feel like I'm putting on a little bit more size and I'm not as fatigued and I sleep pretty good. It's great. It's doing good. So fitness-wise, we're on the right track. Diet is somewhat hit or miss. I mean, it's like when it's hit, it's consistently good. But sometimes I'm able to use the excuse of I'm trying to lean out to skip meals just because I don't want to cook and eat something. Just being lazy, I think. I don't know. Maybe there's something else there going on. I'm not really sure. But again, I don't need that many calories, so it's not that big of a deal to skip a meal here and there. And it actually is working. But I don't like the fact that it's because I don't want to. So that could probably be fixed. Crossed off the first thing. I don't know if I discussed this last time. Oh yeah, because I pointed to it, right? I remember editing that. That I've created a list of, for each category in my finances, the things that I need to take care of the most, the highest priority items. And I have taken care of the first item on the list of my personal spending, which was a nice bed. So I got a new bed. I'm not going to lie. We were team mattress on the floor for the last couple of years. Just because, not that it was so impossible to get a bed, it just didn't really make any sense. There was so many better things that we could spend our money on, and we never have anybody over here, so it's who gives a shit? But eventually, we kind of gave a shit, and so it was all right, it's time. We've milked this as long as we could, and we got a nice fucking bed. So, and now that that's taken care of, I can focus on the bar, personal-wise, which I'm very excited for. Get a nice bar set up with some lights and some places to put everything. And that means that, I can move some stuff around in the kitchen and move that to the bar and move glassware to the bar. And it's just going to alleviate so much space. And then I could take some of the stuff that's in the closets, like hurricane food storage and stuff, and move it into the kitchen, creating more space in the closets, yada, yada, yada. It's pretty exciting. So we're chugging right along with that. I did... As far as the credit journey goes, just to kind of recap, I need to pay down the 2 credit cards that I have, and then I want to get another credit card that I'm supplying the deposit, and then just run with those for a while. I have paid off one of my credit cards, and what's interesting is that the available credit wasn't changing for some reason. And so then I called them and they were basically like, yeah, dude, you suck so bad that we actually just shut down that card. It's okay. And the only way to open it back up is to reapply, which I'm obviously not doing. So, but it honestly works out because that was my Citibank Best Buy card, which worked fine, but the interest rate was kind of high, which again doesn't really matter if you're paying everything off on time. But the thing is that all of the rewards, the cashback rewards, could only be spent at Best Buy, which is who the fuck shops at Best Buy for anything but like specific items here and there? Like, I don't shop there often enough for that to be advantageous at all. So the fact that it got shut down works out pretty well for me, because that means any dings to my credit that happened have already happened and it doesn't matter. Whereas if I had tried to shut it down manually, it would have hurt a little bit more. So, who gives a shit at this point? And that means that actually, since my other card is a Capital One, and then this card where I supply the deposit is also Capital One, that means that I can stick within the Capital One ecosystem for a little bit and just let that kind of boost me up for a while. And then eventually, I'd like to get into Chase, I think. They seem like they got some good shit going on over there, but we'll see. I got time to do that research. And that's kind of down the road. I gotta do a lot of credit repair first. But it's going good. I mean, speaking of, I gotta actually pay my thing down today before my statement closes. And then after that, it should be paid, not off, obviously, because I want to keep some balance in there. So it looks like I'm using it. But pay it low enough, and then it's right up to the next credit card, and then we're good to go. And almost to the hydroponic setup. Well, I want to get some microphones before, some portable mics, so that I can go on the balcony and I can record, and I'm not so confined to this space. And also I can stop using just the speakers on my phone. I feel like that upgrade is necessary, and almost more necessary than video, because this thing's all right. But yeah, so fitness, diet, going good. We're locking in further. Sleep is now better. I didn't think that just raising the bed off the ground was going to make a big difference, but it feels, maybe it's just like me feeling more secure. Like I'm an adult that has a fucking bed and not just sleeping on the floor like a child. But it feels better. It feels better. I like it. I like it a lot. It makes like actually a big difference. And I feel like I've been sleeping pretty good. So that's going good. Scheduling is okay. This is something that I've literally never done before in my life. Even when I had other people making schedules for me, I very rarely followed them. But, now that I'm creating it for myself, the only person that I'm deceiving is me when I say no. So, yeah, it's going pretty good. I'd like to lock that in further. All this stuff can be locked in even more. But, I give time. I don't like to be too beat myself over the back over every time that I'm not perfect day one. I just don't think that's useful. I've found that it's way better if I just push slightly hard and then I get consistent results, rather than push really hard and then burn out and fall off of it. I'd rather get a consistent upward trajectory than a volatile chart here. So those are good. My spending categories is great. That's actually like so much fun. I spend way less money now that I know exactly what the plan is. I know, I can still go and get something if I want to. I can still deviate from that plan occasionally, but I really want the things that I put on the priority list. That's why there's a priority list, because I really want these things. And so it really just keeps in the back of my mind this perspective of, okay, I could buy this whatever piece of bullshit that I don't really need, but I want, or I could wait and get the stuff that actually makes a difference in my life, and that I really want, that I want more than just novelty. I want for a reason. And it gives me something to look forward to, so it changes the dynamic of work. Now I'm excited to go in and work every day because I'm just chipping away at these things that I want so bad and that are going to make such a big difference. And it's pretty fun. So that's going great. That's, I knew it was going to make a difference, but I didn't think it was going to be so night and day. I was literally like, as soon as I made that list, I just stopped spending money. It wasn't even like a conscious decision of, I don't want to spend money. I just don't spend money anymore. I'm like, nah. Oh, should I get a snack for later? No, it's okay. I'll just stick with chicken and yada yada. So that's good. Fitness, diet, scheduling. I haven't started on the commonplace books or anything like that yet, but that's okay. I like to get my notebooks kind of full. I think I'd like to develop a system, because I've been scheduling study times a lot more. I'm studying sleep, but I'd like to start working in going back to the like kinesiology kind of stuff that I was studying, muscular adaptations and diet, and pursue, not like sleep is is kind of more physiology and biology. And that's like lifestyle optimization. And I want to also be doing constant research on fitness and exercise and the specifics of that, like how muscles work, how diet changes that, and everything all about that. So, and I was studying it before, and I kind of fell off. I have a ton of notes on it, but I'd like to go back to what I was doing there. And then I'd like to start including law, and I'd like to start including history, and start including finance. So my plan that is in the contemplative stage, I haven't finalized it yet. And like I said, the scheduling is still kind of in the baby steps a little bit. So it's not completely locked in, but once it's more official, more consistent, I'd like to have either 2 study periods per day, or and differentiate those, or 2 study periods per day and differentiate per day. And so that way I can, kind of like if I was going to class, which is hilarious. I was so outspoken about how bad college is, and I'm basically doing the same thing, but just for me. I guess I just don't like people telling me what to do, I guess. I don't know if that's healthy, but it is what it is. Know thyself. And so that way I can just chip away at all these different knowledge bases at the same time and just slowly put a brick in the wall. And then language, of course, obviously. We've talked about that in the past. But so far, we've just imported one genre of study. But that's okay. That's still better than zero. You know what I mean? We're making incremental improvements. What I mean, a year or whatever. So that's going good. Credit's going good. I've been scheduling a bedtime, but it's been a little late. I think I want to dial that back. I've been like 1 or 2, and if I really want to push it, 3 a.m. And that's just because I do work late one day. And based on sleep structure, I know I'll be missing out on some deep sleep on those days, but I think I could still dial it back to like keeping my sleep consistently at like 12 or 1. That works more with my schedule, maybe even 12. And then like on one of my days off, I can go until 3, and then that way I can schedule like playtime there, and I can schedule maybe a party time and stuff like that. So there's a time when I get to fuck off a little bit, but typically I want to keep my sleep consistent. And that has made a big difference. Keeping sleep consistent, both bedtime and wake time, has been pretty consistent. Could be more consistent, but it's been pretty good actually. But I think I can shift that back a little bit, and I think that would be better, because rarely do I stay up late to be productive. Usually it's like I'm just messing around, and I don't think that is advantageous. So I'd like to fix that. And then on the notes, I'd also like to study for the month, and then at the end of the month, I'd like to refine those studies. And I think that's where the commonplace is going to come into play. Is once I refine my notes, then I can take those refined notes and I can port them into my commonplace and have it just be health. Instead of, I was going to do neuroscience or something like that, or neurobiology, and go there, but I think I can just do just call it fitness or health in general, and then just put all the stuff in there, and that would be better. But we'll see. Again, that's kind of far. It's a couple weeks out probably from what I'm doing now, so I'm not super worried about finalizing that plan yet. But I have been thinking about it a little bit, and I haven't scheduled time for the book yet, but that is going to happen. But this organic process that I've been doing is working pretty well. Reading can still be improved. I haven't been super consistent, but I haven't been focused there, because I slip into this pattern sometimes of reading because I want to be a reader instead of reading because I'm interested in the subject matter. And I don't like that. So I need to reframe that a little bit again in my mind and keep it active, although I have been itching to get back into Game of Thrones. And then I can port in both books. But again, I think that's going to come a lot with really optimizing the scheduling, and then it's going to work well. So again, I'm not super upset with the way things are going. The trajectory is still better than last time, and so we're doing good, better but not perfect, and that's okay. Now, something that I do want to just touch on briefly, because I think it'll be good for the old record here, is hold on, let me get comfortable. So something that I've noticed, and I was just talking to my partner about this the other day, is that there seems to have been a shift in the way that I perceive and am perceived by others. More specifically, am perceived by others. Now, I always was pretty good socially. Like, very relatable. I could get along with anybody. And typically, whenever I meet someone, they immediately like me. It's a positive relationship off the jump. It's like, oh, this guy's cool. And then I think the same. And then we, can go back and forth off of that positive start point. But something that I've noticed that's happened recently is that's not the case anymore. I don't think that it's necessarily people dislike me, but people don't like me off the rip. I have to do a semi-significant amount of work to reach that point. And up until there is communication, there's something slightly negative about the way that people perceive me. And I don't know what that is. And, talking it through with my partner, we seem to have narrowed it down because we're both having a similar experience, narrowed it down to during and post Miami seems to be when that shift has occurred. And I don't know if we just developed certain survival mechanisms because of the nature of Miami or what happened. I don't know if we seem darker or if we seem, and I'm just spitballing here, so let's not fucking, get all up in my jazz about it, but it could be intimidation. It could be I come off as a dickhead. It could be I seem cocky. It could be that I seem, like I said, darker than I was before. I don't know, like I said, we had to become a certain thing to survive in that environment. And so maybe the skills that we developed have just tainted the way that we are perceived by the outside world. But regardless of what caused it or what the root problem is, it is negative. It's not what I want. It may not be leading to negative outcomes, but it's not leading to positive outcomes. And I don't like the way that I am perceived by the public. There's this step back that occurs when I interact with people, and especially if I don't speak to them directly or if I speak to them very minimally. And I notice this a lot at the gym, especially. I notice it a lot when I'm working. It's fine because I'm a server, so I put on a slight mask of outward positivity, because I'm trying to make money, but also because I'm trying to have people have a good experience. And so it's not such a problem there. But in other social environments, and the one social environment that I'm very active in is the gym, and I notice it a lot there, especially people that are aware of my presence constantly, like the employees there. I just notice that it seems like there's this wariness of my presence or something. And I can't really pinpoint what it is because I haven't discussed it with them at all. But, for one, anytime I've ever been working out, both in Michigan or in Miami, people never had a problem coming up to me and giving me compliments or just chatting or just talking or, talking about what they're doing and stuff like that. And I've noticed that it has not happened a single time here. Since moving here, I've never had anyone go out of their way, maybe not anyone, but so minimally that it's not really noticeable. Nobody's ever complimented me. Nobody's ever just come over and started talking to me. It's happened maybe once or twice. Hey, can you give me a tip here? Hey, you look good. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I need that, but the fact that something has changed in my presence and the way that I express myself or the way that I exist, the way that I am has changed to where people don't feel comfortable with doing that for whatever reason. And I don't know what that is, but I would like to change it. And, that's just something that I've noticed. And I don't know what is causing that, like I said, but not a fan, not a super fan. And I even notice it with people that know me, people that I am familiar with, have been for years. And if I have constant communication with, my friends or my family or whatever, then it's fine. And that is negated. But like I said, that is the work that has to be put in for this weird energy to dissipate. But if I take time away, when I come back every time, there's something weird there. There's something off about the interactions that I have with people. And so it's not specific to people that don't know me. And so that's what I mean. It's like I must be doing something or being a certain way that is off-putting somehow. And I don't know. I have no idea. But I wanted to share that. I think it's important for the record, because I'd like to go back on this hopefully at some point when I've figured out what that problem is, or when that problem alleviates, and maybe I can kind of reverse engineer, once the solution has been found, I can reverse engineer and figure out what the problem was initially. But yeah, it's something weird. I don't know what's going on there, but I think that's all I got. Again, we're doing better. We're doing better than we were yesterday, doing better than we were last week, and that's what the fuck counts. You know what I mean? But that's all I got. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. But I will keep myself and you updated with the way things are going in the future. And hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for watching. Let's get after it. And with that, Nick out.